anything? That's 3 holding penalties on one football team in a quarter and a half. That ain't funny.
Hi, this is Justin Waller of the Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for sports talk here on the First Coast.
New Year's resolutions. We've all made them. Mine is the same every year. Eat healthier. The eat part usually works out fine. It's the healthier part I forget about. But not anymore, now that I've found the oh-so-chocolatey Built Bar. Built Bars are low-cal, low-sugar, high-protein, high-fiber. Great for keto. Lose or maintain weight while indulging in a yummy treat. At 130 calories, you'll feel like making a resolution every day. Try all 18 amazing flavors. Get yours at BuiltBar.com.
Make contact. A collective psychosis is sweeping the nation. We're in the thick of the haze craze, and Elysian is introducing an altered state of IPA. Contact Haze is a tangled chemistry of mild haze, low bitterness, and an explosion of hop aroma. This hazy IPA bursts with notes of bright raspberry, currant, citrus, guava, and passion fruit. Available in 6-pack cans in stores and in all Seattle Elysian locations. Make contact.
CBS Sports Radio, your home for all things sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, coast to coast. Great sports talk expected here. CBS Sports Radio.
Dread running to the post office? Stamps.com brings post office and UPS services right to your computer. Send letters, ship packages, and get up to 40% off USPS and up to 62% off UPS rates. Nearly 1 million small businesses use Stamps.com to save time and money. It's a no-brainer. So skip the post office and visit Stamps.com. Use promo code LISTEN for a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. That's Stamps.com, promo code LISTEN.
Oh, wow, I'm pretty sure that's going to be there it is. Another flag on the play.
Multiple flags on the play. Holding. Offense number 97. That penalty was declined. Touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense number 22. Penalty will be applied to the kickoff.
This is going to be one of the strangest calls.
That son of a...
You playing against Dick this week?
Yeah.
Could be worse, man. When I played against him, he ejected all my players.
What?
Armchair.
Take the scenic route in the new Hyundai Santa Fe. The family SUV with available H-Track all-wheel drive to help you travel way off the beaten path. Find new adventures together in the Hyundai Santa Fe.
I'm sorry, excuse me 1 second. Hello?
Hi, would you be interested in switching over to TMI long distance service?
Oh, gee, I can't talk right now. Why don't you give me your home number and I'll call you later?
I'm sorry, we're not allowed to do that.
Oh, I guess you don't want people calling you at home.
No.
Well, now you know how I feel.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and flat out deceived.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
But what the hell, boy?
Make sure to listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks. Good enough for us down here in the bayou. Go Tigers and the Armchair Quarterbacks.
It's morning.
Yes, and what a lovely morning.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello. Hey.
Hi.
How's it going?
Do you not have any more clothing to have on, sir?
Oh no, I'm not, sir.
Okay, it threw me off with the beard.
Oh, no worries. Oh my gosh, I'm not Janet at the Super Bowl right now, am I?
Say that again?
I'm not Janet at the Super Bowl right now, am I? I'm trying to keep the puppies in the kennel.
I wasn't familiar with that term.
Oh, no worries. Just let me know if I'm Janet at the Super Bowl. You're not staring at my right now, are you?
Sir.
Oh, I'm not a sir.
I am really not in the mood for this today.
Oh, yeah, please don't call me sir.
If you're serious about this position, please apply to our jobs at .com, okay?
I am serious. I just saw you staring at my or whatever.
It's just kind of hard to tell from my angle. It looked like you were looking at my because you were looking at the screen, so you could be looking anywhere. I just wanted to make sure because it looked like you were staring at my
Armchair. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks, CBS Sports Radio, #1 sports station.
Good morning, and this is your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. Today, in Major League Baseball, you've got almost a full slate, and tonight, the ESPN National Game of the Evening is the Chicago Cubs and Jake Arrieta traveling to the New York Mets and David Peterson. The Mets have a 3-game lead on Philadelphia in the National League East, while the Cubs are tied with the Milwaukee Brewers and 5 in front of the Cincinnati Reds and 6 in front of St. Louis that they swept over the weekend. Also at the 7 o'clock hour, you got the Blue Jays at the Red Sox as they finish their series after the Blue Jays set records scoring runs in Boston last night. Alex Manoah versus Nathan Eovaldi. At 8 o'clock, it's the Rays at the White Sox. 2 division leaders, Glasnow versus Lance Lynn. Should be a hell of a duel. The Marlins are at the Cardinals at 8:15. Adam Wainwright is hosting Braxton Garrett as the Redbirds try to get back on track. Other games around the league, 7:05. Pirates at the Nationals. Leicester versus Brubaker. The Orioles are at the Indians at 7:10, and at 8:10 Eastern, it's the Reds at the Brewers. You've also got Tigers Royals, and at 8:40, Padres at the Rockies. Dinelson Lamet versus Austin Gomber. The Angels are at the A's at 9:40, and at 9:45, the D-backs are at the Giants. Alex Wood takes the mound. At 10:10 Eastern, the 2 nightcaps. The Twins are at the Mariners, Maeda versus Gonzalez, and the Phillies are at the Dodgers, with Gonsolin on the mound for LA. In the NBA, the 76ers are at the Hawks. Philadelphia leads the series 2-1. And over in Los Angeles, the Jazz are at the Clippers as the Clippers try to fight back down 2-1 at home. The big news in the NBA was last night as the Phoenix Suns sweep out the Nuggets. Chris Paul scoring 37 points. He is only the 3rd player in NBA history to score 35 points or more in the playoffs, joining Karl Malone and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. In earlier action, as the Bucks tied up the series 2-2 with the Nets, Brooklyn loses Kyrie Irving for at least a little while as he has a severely sprained ankle. Game 5 of that series is on Tuesday, and it doesn't look like the Nets will have Kyrie Irving or James Harden as they head back home. In the National Hockey League, the Islanders take a 1-0 series with a 2-1 win in Tampa Bay over the Lightning. Tonight, the Habs and Golden Knights begin the other Stanley Cup semifinals series. It's game number 1 at 9 p.m. Eastern. That'll be seen on the NBC Sports Network. In college baseball at 1 o'clock Eastern on ESPNU, Dallas Baptist versus the Virginia Cavaliers. The winner heads out to Omaha. Same scenario, 7 o'clock Eastern tonight. Game number 3 of the Starkville Regional, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish up against the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Those are the only 2 yet to punch their ticket. Who's already in the College World Series? The Tennessee Volunteers topping LSU 15-6. NC State knocks out the number 1 seed Arkansas Razorbacks. Arizona pounds Ole Miss 16-3. And the Texas Longhorns prevail in game number 2 as they sweep out the South Florida Bulls. And that's your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. Stay tuned for the Armchair Quarterbacks radio show and YouTube Live. Please like, subscribe, and share our show today. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for sports talk, live from the First Coast. Good morning. It's time to wake up, y'all. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. We're here weekdays on CBS Radio, YouTube Live, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. The Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for Southern Sports Talk. Good morning, Mr. Justin Waller.
Good morning. I don't know much, but I know one thing.
I don't always side with Cubs fans, but when you build a Martin Motherville, I have to. If you missed the beer snake, it was impressive.
Hi, I'm Mac McGinn. I don't know much, but I know one thing. I know a lot of people think that Braves finally got off the schneid because they got decent pitching and timely hitting. I think it's because this bad boy just came in the mail. Huh? Can you see that? A Panda Cup, baby. What's the most impressive thing about it, Justin? Evidently, so it's a black coffee cup that when you put hot liquid in there, it turns into a panda, and as it cools off, it's gonna. So if we get on a run, I'm gonna have to be fired up full of coffee and, of course, other fun stuff throughout the summer. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Oh, you are so full of crap. You're 5 feet nothing, 100 and nothing, and you got hardly a speck of athletic ability. And you hung in with the best college football team in the land for 2 years. And you're also going to walk out of here with a degree from the University of Notre Dame. In this lifetime, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody except yourself. And after what you've gone through, if you haven't done that by now, it ain't going to never happen.
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man.
Hey, howdy, hi, top of the morning to you. Welcome to the Armchair Quarterback Radio Show. Mac McGee sitting alongside Justin Waller. Justin, how the hell are you, sir?
I'm exhausted, but I'm here. I have survived birthday weekend, and it is time to rest. I was looking forward to work this week.
So I guarantee you've told me about this, and I guarantee I just forgot. Have you seen the movie Greater?
I don't think so.
I never even heard of it. So you've never okay. Justin, you've put it on the top of your watch list, because I'll tell you why. I guess it was made about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's on Netflix right now, okay? And the only reason why I heard about it is because the two ladies that work reception at my doctor's office the other day were talking about it. And I was like, what are y'all talking about? They talking about great football movie. I was thinking they're emotional. I thought they were going to talk like The Blind Side or something. And they said it's called Greater. And I said, is that good? And one of the ladies said, it's so good, I'm going to watch it again because I haven't watched it in a while. She said, I don't watch movies twice. And I was like, okay, what the hell am I missing here? It's a football movie. Yeah, it's a football movie. And that's all they knew. And that's all they could tell me. I turned it on with the wife Saturday, and I was like, they say it's great. They say that you would love it. So it's not like just some raw, another given Sunday kind of movie, right? Justin, not only is it an emotional movie, so get your tear box ready, but the Tennessee Volunteers, the year that they won the national championship in 98, I think what most Tennessee fans, outside of actually winning it, I think what they remember the most is the play that got them there, which was that goofy Clint Sterner fumble where he was falling down and he used the ball to use leverage, and the ball slipped out of his hands. The Vols fall on the ball and they score when the game was essentially over. It was like one of the biggest choke jobs in history of sport, right? That movie is involved in that. That's how great this movie is. It's about a college football player. And I remember the guy now. I just didn't know. Well, I won't ruin it, but I didn't know something bad happened to him. But I remember him because of his look. He was on the offensive line of the Arkansas Razorbacks that year. And he used to wear these big, I always thought they were black goggles, almost like Kurt Rambis goggles, but they're not. They're glasses that was basically tied to a chain type of thing. And and it'll take a minute for you to look. Once you see it, it's going to jog your memory. You're like, I do remember this guy, because how could you not forget an offensive lineman who's wearing these big freaking glasses, right? Anyways, incredible movie. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. If you have not seen it, it is now one of my favorite movies of all time, and I never even heard of it till about 4 or 5 days ago. It is that emotional, and it's a great job by the directors, the actors, I wish I could think of the main star of the movie that plays the football player's brother, but he's been in a lot of stuff. The main thing I know him from is the television show Suits, but he's been in other things. But anyways, incredible movie. I can't recommend it more. And And for everyone who's out there listening, going, if it's a football movie, my wife loved it. I mean, she was just like, this is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. So, all right.
I will definitely check it out because, against my better judgment, I don't remember that play happening that way. So I probably need to have my mind refreshed because it probably doesn't happen the way Tennessee fans remember it in that Arkansas game.
Oh, I'll never forget it because I was standing in a bar in Tennessee. I was working, but no one was working at that point.
Oh, I remember the play. I just have tucked it away as elite defense caused the jitters and let's move on to the next topic.
He uses the ball for leverage, which I always remember that, and the ball slipped out of his hand. I was like, the hell is this guy doing? I remember just going, holy crap, they're going to pull it off. Because that was just like a team of destiny the whole year. I just remember, everyone's going nuts. They've always been my psycho, but I was more of like, what am I watching here? I was like, this is like a Hollywood movie. No, this never happens, right? Anyways, we'll move on from that. Speaking of the Volunteers, they're headed to the College World Series. How about that?
Yeah, first time in 15 years. Excited about it.
I could not believe it's been as long as it has. I could not. If it wasn't for the fact that Tony keeps referencing it on Twitter, 05, 05, 05, I was like, it can't be that long ago because I watched it when they were at the College World Series. I feel like it was, if you were to ask me, I would have guessed 2010, but I was like, 05, there's no unbelievable.
Yeah, I wasn't even living in the state at the time. The last time they were in the College World Series. That's how long ago it has been.
Irony was that on Friday's Gators and Golf show, Tony talked about how Tennessee was built to win this thing because they're not a team that lives on the long ball and they put pressure on the defenses. It's one of the I've caught probably counting this weekend. I've probably caught about 6 or 7 Tennessee Volunteer baseball games. And I've enjoyed them all, and he's right. But yesterday, they were launching them out, man. And I loved it because I don't know what it is, or maybe it's just my fandom, about ESPN having an axe to grind against Florida State and Tennessee. I feel like they're always anti them. But when the LSU guy hit the second home run, and they were still losing, by the way, to Tennessee 3-2, they go to break, and they got to find a way to shut him down. He's going to – I was like, are they not winning this damn game? And then the Vols just blew the doors out.
It's all right. That second touchdown, we put the 2-point conversion on them, and they're down by 9, so they couldn't come back. We handled that. Then I woke up and reminded myself it was baseball.
It reminded me that we are watching LSU, not necessarily LSU homers. They've always been Tennessee haters, going way back to that big controversy in '97 with Peyton and the Heisman. And I've always felt like they've been anti-Florida State, but that's been a lot. There's been a lot of reasons for that over the years.
I mean, they are the parent company of the SEC network, and the SEC West is king. I'm sorry, but the West is king. I don't get, Florida State. They probably shouldn't have a dog in that one, but I get it that they love Alabama and LSU. I get it. Until we get there and perform, I can't really say anything about it.
So they had a programming director years ago that was a Gator graduate. So it stems from that, and then you could just see it bleed for a long time, and then the rest is history. But the Tennessee thing was really dumbfounding. I guess maybe the guy was anti-Tennessee too. But anyways, he is long gone. But I think he built a culture in there that is just you can feel it sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, fans are overreacting. These are professional broadcasters doing their job, and then sometimes like yesterday, I was like, they are putting the hammer on them, and they keep talking about this elite LSU offense. I'm like, first of all, they're not hosting the regional for a reason. They're not hosting the regional because Tennessee's a better baseball team. But hey, how about Arkansas is gone, baby? They got knocked out. Wow.
That's good news.
Go Wolfpack.
For Volunteer fans. I think for a lot of teams, that's good news because Arkansas was looking very, very stout.
I want to tell you something that's rough. When I was running around trying to get this coffee cup out to use today, and I, you put the coffee in, and you put all the stuff in there, and then I've been using the Propel like y'all been talking about for my waters, and I didn't have time to change it because literally I was sliding into second base over here as we were starting the show. I dumped the Propel into the coffee. That's a different taste, my man. That's all I can tell you. But I need the caffeine. It's a different taste. It's not something that someone's going to bottle anytime soon. I can tell you that right now. Every time I take it, it's like, it's like that. It's like that taste you get where you're like, you said you handed me a beer, but I'm pretty sure this is an O'Doul's. I'm pretty damn sure you just screwed me.
I got that orange juice after brushing your teeth pucker up thought in my head. That's where I'm going with Propel in my coffee is kind of what I envision.
It's rough. I thought so. I dumped real quick and put it in and put more coffee back in. I thought I got it out. I did not. It is still in there somehow. I don't know how the hell it is, but it's that the aftertaste is not good.
Just enjoy the electrolytes, sir.
Yeah, electrolytes. And see, I've actually still got Propel in this one. I was just a dumbass. I had the cups right next to each other, and I looked. I was like, "What the hell did I just do?" Oh, I'm getting in my own way over here. I had to get up really early this morning. There's a long story behind that, to having to deal with some things. But anyways, a reminder to people: Yankees, Red Sox. Yankees and Rays is coming up at the top of the 10 o'clock Eastern hour with Timus Wooten. And Angelo will be joining us next week. He's going to try to make it this week. I don't think he's going to make it, but he's going to try like hell. And you talking about there's going to be some bitching going on because the Yankees got their ass kicked by the by the Phillies. And then did you see Toronto scored hit the most home runs in Fenway Park by an opposing team ever yesterday? I mean, that's saying a mouthful. How long have you been playing baseball there?
I just know that the baseball gods are very humbling, and I love it. And not particular that matchup, but about a month ago, one in particular, Cardinals fan, they're a little obnoxious. And the past month has really reeled them in. This 9-game losing streak, or 1-9, they've gone their last 10, and getting swept by the Cubs as made them non-existent this morning. So.
Yeah,
kind of like Alabama fans after a big loss. They just kind of disappear for a week or so. So I'm going to enjoy it. Thank you, Cubs fan. I don't give you enough credit. It wasn't David Ross's doing, but y'all overcame and beat the Cardinals. So congratulations.
Not only are the Cubs 5 games in front of Cincinnati and 6 in front of St. Louis, the Brewers, break up the Brewers. They're 9-1 over their last 10. So literally the Cardinals have lost 8 games on the Milwaukee Brewers in the last 10 games. I mean, that's hard to do. And the Cubs are playing well. I was impressed. It did not shock me that the Cubs won last night because of the pitching matchup. What shocked me was that it was so low scoring because Carlos Martinez has been terrible. He actually pitched a good game last night. He did give up the 2 runs, but other than that, you got to expect your offense to do something. Hell, that cost me a fantasy league because I needed something to happen. I had Arenado, Goldschmidt, and the closer for the Cardinals, and they didn't. I got 1 point out of all of them, and I lost by like 10. I'm like, are you serious? Normally, I would say if you gave me the option of you either have those guys or he has those guys, I was like, give me those guys. I'll take my chances. They didn't do nothing last night. Anyways, the Braves finally get a W. That team is just looked terrible. And Twitter is calling for Snicker's head. And I don't think it's going to happen.
It won't.
Because you don't get the guy who won the manager of the year. He doesn't get fired the next year. He just doesn't. And that's not the Braves' MO. They just don't do things like that. But they need something to shake that up.
I mean, let's face the elephant in the room. You didn't get Soroka back. I mean, what can you do about that? And then, I mean, I put it more on AA than I do anything. He went out and he kind of stalled. He gets Charlie Morton, and then he just sits on his accomplishment for, I don't know, felt like 4 or 5 months. Maybe it wasn't that long. There's probably more like 3. And then we finally, at the very end, we spent some money on Ozuna, and we really didn't bolster much past that. Now we've got a logjam in the outfield. We won't give up prospects because for some reason that's anti-Atlanta Braves as well. I don't know what the point in having them is. If you don't bump them up and put them on the field, or you don't trade them away and upgrade or make yourself some equitable trades, what in the world is the reason in having the huge farm system? So, I mean, I know we've restocked it, but I want to see some aggressiveness. And it comes back to the arms. We got lucky and saw a bullpen last year. We screamed, I feel like, a decade that Atlanta hasn't had the move and had the secure bullpen. Then you get it and you annihilate it the next season. And I don't know, we were just stale. It's like we got complacent. Maybe they didn't want to win 4 in a row.
If we're not going to move guys to get guys to win, then I say go ahead and start bringing some of these kids up, right? If this is going to be this year got away from us type of thing, then I say I want to see what Drew Waters can do. I want to see what Michael Harris can do. You're gonna have to give us some kind of entertainment over the summer, because if this team continues like the way it is, they're going to be out of it, and I mean out of it, by August 1st. The other thing is, and this is the other elephant in the room that I don't think anyone wants to address, but I think it's a big reason why Atlanta is playing the way they're playing. So you take Ozuna out and you take his bat out, obviously. And there's the threat of the bat. He wasn't playing that well, but he was starting to get hot before he got injured, right? But you take that out of it. And you take Inoa out of there, and of course he, when he comes back, whatever. But it doesn't look like Ozuna will play another inning this year. And if he plays for Atlanta, we'll just see what happens. I don't know how. The farther you get away from something, usually they revisit it, and there's no telling what happens. But I think one of the biggest things that's being lost in losing Ozuna, it's not just his bat, Justin. It's the fact that guy was a leader in the locker room and in the dugout, and the kids like Albies and Acuna, they looked up to him, and that had to have been devastating for them to learn about his domestic violence issue, probably thinking this guy could do no wrong. They probably thought he hung the moon. They could look up to him. And now I think there's a little bit of devastation. There's a little flatness on the team, and a guy that's normally stoic and quiet and leads by example, and you like that. And I'm not saying he has to do it on the field, but in that locker room, dude, Freddie Freeman's got to become the guy that steps up and says, guys, we got to get our head out of our ass because he's not coming back. And so how does that help us to sit here and just walk around with our head down, dauber in the dirt? And that's just my take on it, as far as they looked up to him. And Riley's not a rah-rah guy, though he's playing well. Freddie's not a rah-rah guy, though he's playing well. Acuna is, but also remember, Acuna doesn't speak a lot of English, right? So how much does that work in the locker room? So I don't know. If they do make a trade, if they say we're going to try to go after a guy, I think they could go after a leader as well. It can't just be a guy that they think is going to be a good bat.
I agree. It's just hard where you're going to find that. And then you're in the contract year with Freddie. I mean, right now you want to see it. I mean, Freddie, right now we need to pay you the money. I need you to take charge of the team. I know you're not a rah-rah guy, but you want to get paid. You want to stay. The team needs it. So it's like you said, you got to see that a leader emerge from somewhere. And I hope we get to see some of these young prospects, if nothing else, showcase them and try and sell high and salvage something. Because honestly, I think you still have the bats. If you can find a stopgap in the arms, something to get you through, then you've got an opportunity. You've got a chance. This lineup can get hot enough to take down any staff.
The thing is, we have to win the division. There's no wild card coming out of the East this year. There just isn't. Unless you talk about just teams falling off the face of the planet. You're sitting. I think the last time I checked, I don't even check it anymore. But I think the last time I checked, they're 7th in the wild card. So that's
I haven't even looked at the wild card.
It's a wrap. I mean, we have 30 wins. The Milwaukee Brewers have 38. The Dodgers and the San Diego Padres have 38, and the Dodgers have 39. That's 3 teams that you have to make up a 10-game difference. It's just I don't see how that's going to happen. And that's not even counting the teams who are kind of playing meh right now that are still in front of Atlanta in those standings, like the St. Louis Cardinals that are playing.
Did you even mention the Giants with 40 wins?
Well, the Giants are in first.
They're leading.
Place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was more looking at teams that
I got you in the wild card. I see.
Right. But yeah, I mean, for that matter, the Cincinnati Reds have more wins than Atlanta. They had 32. And they sold everything. The hell is that about?
Did something wrong.
Did something terribly wrong. Oh, man. It's you want to do a pick'em real quick? Because
sure,
I need to get back into the habit of that. And I always forget. By the time I remember to bring it up, you've already dipped off the show, and I'm like, son of a. Let's go ahead and get to a pick'em. As I'm going to pull up the site to see what because we actually have a full slate of baseball today. And I was going to start it last Monday. There was 3 games. I was like, that is just a terrible day to start this back again. All right. Do you got anything pulled up?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Montreal Canadiens tonight at plus 220 on the money line. I got them rolling into Vegas and imposing the hockey gods' wills as the original 6 resounding member from Canada to come in. And I don't know, I want to see a Canadian team in the Stanley Cup final. I can't remember the last time I saw that. And I don't know. I'd really like to see it. So I'm all on the Canadians.
I don't understand why that game's starting at 9:00 at night. I get it that Vegas sits out in Vegas in the West. It's at 7:00 their time, but Montreal's Eastern time zone.
Yeah, it's due north of New York, isn't it? Or pretty close to it.
Yeah, I don't get that. Why not start that thing by 8:00, 9:00? That's, I mean, you're talking about that thing finishing around midnight. But yeah.
Well, I mean, Canadian fans are probably still locked down, can't go anywhere, so.
Probably, but it's still, I mean, I'm just thinking of even the older crowd, let's say they're, the people in their 60s, 70s or whatever, that are obviously going to be diehard hockey fans up there. They don't want to stay up till midnight.
60s, 70s. I mean, let's get down to the 40s. I don't even want to stay up that late. I'll be lucky to make it through the second period, but I'm going to try.
But if you're in a total lockdown, you don't have to be up the next morning. It's not that big a deal. But I'm saying when you get, man, I didn't want to call my cell phone. You get in your late 40s, you're like, it's a wrap, dude. I'm not doing this. Something has something to do with the fact I get up at 6 a.m. So that's got something to do with it. But I'm going to go with the Cubs and Mets today. I'm going to take my chances with Arrieta and the Cubs going into New York, going up against Peterson. Arrieta's been hit or miss. Peterson's been miss, and sometimes hit. So I'm going to take my chances. They're only a minus 102 on the road, so I think they got a decent chance. We are coming to the top of the hour. So what is your walk-off for the day, sir?
Well, Braves won't lose today if my schedule's correct. So that is a good thing. Enjoy the day off, Braves fan, and hopefully all of our rivals take L's.
I got to figure it out. If that's either our 4th or 5th 4-game losing streak already this season. It's at least 4. Because we had 3,
it's at least 4. Absolutely.
We had 3 out the gate. What's so mind-numbing about that too? They had leads against the Phillies. They should have swept the Phillies.
It's not that it's a 4-game losing streak. It's that it was 2 loss series to inter-division opponents that were both above you.
Right.
Well, Marlins might technically be below, but they've been bouncing above and below.
And it makes it even worse that Max Fried was one of them. You're like, dude, I feel like we wasted a start there. Because once again, I'd like to see Freddie do a little bit of this, or I guess they're doing this now. I'd like to see, I've never seen him do that when he gets on. I'd like to see something where he's like, come on, guys, let's go. Anyway,
maybe we made the Volunteers down there after they get out of the World Series.
I'll tell you one thing, that Arkansas pitcher that they decided to open with yesterday, and it's first time he started since last year. He's been their closer. I'd like to see the Braves draft him in the first round and put his ass to work by August. That's what I'd like to see, because that draft's coming up.
I am interested in that Virginia game today. I forget the team they're playing with, but
Dallas Baptist.
Yeah, I didn't know a lot about them, and that was good to see an underdog come back. Now, maybe they're a juggernaut that I'm just not aware of. I don't follow baseball that much, but
they've put a lot of money into that program. So they're kind of like Liberty in football, but the only difference is in baseball, you don't need a big market, a big conference to be able to succeed. So they're kind of like the new Cal State Fullerton, how Cal State Fullerton used to be really good in the 90s and early 2000s. They've been consistently good. That should be a good game tonight or today. I think they're the 1 o'clock game. There's a 1 o'clock and there's a 7 o'clock game left.
I believe they're the afternoon game, early afternoon.
All right, brother. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, sir.
We'll be back in a flash on the Armchair Quarterbacks. Red Raider Doug is on the way. Let me let him in so we can clear his smoker's cough, and we'll go.
I apologize for the distractions.
The Armchair Quarterback Show, weekdays, coast to coast, Southern Sports Talk Radio. Your first choice for sports talk, live from the First Coast.
You'll do anything to stay healthy. So isn't it time to think about your water? Aquasana water filters remove contaminants other filters don't, like lead, bacteria, viruses, and pesticides. Up to 99% of 88 contaminants, while leaving vital minerals you need like potassium, calcium, and magnesium. Visit waterfilter.com now and use promo code RADIO to get 50% off. That's waterfilter.com, promo code RADIO for pure, delicious water and the ultimate peace of mind. Aquasana, better water, better you.
Armchair Quarterbacks Radio covers the whole SEC the whole season long.
Dobbs heaves it. They're bunched up in the end zone. It's tipped up. It's caught. It is caught. Jelon Jennings.
Just the start of things. First quarter at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville. As Walker sneaks to the right. Gets outside. The 35. Look out. He's past midfield, and he's got a blocker. Cuts to the inside. Herschel Walker. There he goes again.
Straight up the middle. Touchdown. Delayed reaction, but Tebow got in. Oh, jump pass. How about that? Oh, my gosh. That looks like 1955. Holy cow. Are you kidding me?
Armchair.
SEC!
Take the road less traveled in the newly redesigned Hyundai Santa Fe. With available H-Track all-wheel drive to help you get off the beaten path a little further together. And intuitive safety features that can help you see what's waiting around the bend. Plus, with generous room for 5 and comfortable available Napa leather seating, you can go for more drives as a family without driving each other crazy. Find new adventures together in the Hyundai Santa Fe.
Welcome to the jungle. Jim Rome on the air, noon to 3 Eastern, only on CBS Sports Radio.
Heavenly Father, we thank you tonight for all your blessings.
NASCAR is back, and the Armchair Quarterbacks have got you covered. We'll talk the races, the standings, the news of NASCAR, and we'll also go into fantasy NASCAR. NASCAR is back on the Armchair Quarterbacks, a Southern tradition, because if you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing.
Follow CBS Sports Radio in the Twitterverse for breaking sports news. Go to twitter.com/CBS Sports Radio.
Lift up your shirt, son.
I need an adult. I need an adult.
You're not a shoplifter. You're just a fat kid. Hey, Tom, he's just a fat kid. Aren't you, fatty? He's just a big old fat kid. Here's some chocolate, fatso.
Thanks.
But I ain't never felt the way I do when I'm with you. Trees seem greener, sun shines brighter, tea tastes sweeter, and trouble.
Good morning. Welcome back here to CBS Sports Radio. Listen to Wes Cook. Looking forward to seeing Wes Cook in a few months. We go up there to Nash Vegas. He's always playing on Broadway, so looking forward to that. I'm hoping to run into a lot of the other usual suspects. So if you're watching, reach out. If you're listening, reach out. And if not, I'll try to remember to reach out because we're going to have a lot of people. Doug, how the hell are you? Oh, Doug. Doug, how the hell are you?
Doing fine, thanks.
I always forget I have to mute the smoker's cough. Do me a favor, Doug. Can you wipe your screen, dude? I don't know if you got lint fuzz or whatever the heck's all over your screen. I noticed it last week after the show, and I was like, man, I should have said something, but I honestly didn't notice it. It's like little dots and stuff, unless that's a cracked screen or something. But it looks like it's never looked like that before until about a week ago.
Okay.
Did you wipe it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Must be a Bobo screen. Looks terrible, man. It looks like you're a hostage somewhere. Okay, well, we'll fight through it anyways. The DFS, let's get that in today. Let's dive into that before we can talk about Denver Bronco football, which I'm interested to hear a Raiders take on Denver Bronco football, but we'll dive in to Major League Baseball. You got a full slate today almost. There's only a few teams with days off, which is nice when you play DFS, because I really hate, like, what was it last week when there was like 3 games being played? It's just terrible, terrible to play DFS at that point. So what has your eye? What's worth the buy in DFS today for you?
On the top, I guess it's kind of an obvious pick, but take Lance Lynn at $11,000 today. I think he's every bit as good as Glasnow, which is always going to be a top pick in DFS. So I like his matchup, and actually he's pitching very well this season. A lot of people, I think, are waiting for the other shoe to fall with him, but I don't see it. And he's one of my DFS picks for the day.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that okay. Here, I messed with my screen, but I'll figure it out. I'm a little surprised Glasnow is actually above Lance Lynn. And I get that the Glasnow's got phenomenal time, but he's going up against the White Sox offense.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. I would rather have Lance Lynn against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's a great baseball team, but they do it with pitching. They don't do it with a lot of offense. And it's in Chicago. It's a little strange that Glasnow is I would definitely steer clear of Glasnow, because to win a DFS, you're going to have to go up against guys who are going to take that bait and grab Glasnow. And I'm with you. Of all the top tier guys that are up there, I'll tell you someone else I think will have a good game, because he is the kind of guy that responds when his team is down. He is the kind of veteran that you want. Adam Wainwright at home against the Marlins. He's 8,800. It's a little pricey for what Adam Wainwright brings to the table, but I think he will respond in a big way. What say you?
Yeah, his home ERA is what, 2.6. Never take him on the road, but at home that's where his best games of the season so far have been. He's got a 2.6 ERA at home. So, and against what you call it? Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah, I mean he's at home against the Marlins. I mean,
yeah,
they're a feisty team. Don Mattingly gets the most out of what he has there. But yeah, I think you've got to go there. And there's one now. If I'm stacking tonight, I'm stacking me some Cubs, man. They're playing well, and Peterson is not. So I'd be all about stacking me some Cubs. Where are you going tonight?
Let me see. Stacking wise, I was going to stack the Mets game. That was one that I thought for today. If you're going to stack a game, or either that or stack the you can go ahead and stack the Detroit Kansas City Royals game.
Which way? You keep saying game. Come on,
sorry.
man, do some damn homework before you come on the show. You don't just randomly go there. Oh yeah, let's go in there and get the yeah.
That's all I meant. All I meant was stack Kansas City, especially Boyd pitching today. Kansas City, you stack it against the Tigers.
All right.
That's what I meant.
Another one that I like, Gomber is only 7,000. he's at home against San Diego, who's got to be tired coming from New York. I know that's a tough offense, but Gomber's pitched pretty well. He surprisingly is pitching well in Colorado, and the fact that it's not a day game helps you out because the day games in Colorado are usually much more offensive than the night games. Now it is warming up to all around the country, so it's a bit of a dicey play, but I like the fact that he's only 7,000. I would probably roll the dice. And the other guy who's super low because he's been hurt, and even when he was healthy, he hasn't had a good year. But Kenta Maeda is going to Seattle. That should be a decent game for Kenta Maeda. But I'm stacking me some Cubs. That's the one that I think I like the most. Peacock going up against San Francisco, you'd love to stack that, but how much offensive pop does San Francisco really have? So there you go with that. We'll go ahead and move on from that. Trying to do more and more DFS and with football coming around the corner, look out, man. I'm ready for it. Are you ready for fantasy football, Doug?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
I'm glad you said that because starting next week, we're going to start talking fantasy football every Monday. So I'm glad I'm glad. and don't come on with I like the Chiefs Browns game. Yeah, that's a good game. No, come on with some real fantasy football, fire next Monday. I'll get with you as far as what we're going to go over, but we're definitely going to do fantasy football because essentially what are we at the 14th? So by next week will be the 21st, and you're sitting there. For most people, you'll be about 2 months away from draft day. Maybe 2 weeks in, but we're going to miss some Mondays because of holidays and whatnot. So I wanted to start doing some fantasy football, and we will also talk fantasy baseball as well. All right. The Denver Broncos, your boys. I'm starting to wonder, are they who they are? I mean, in other words, we heard so many rumbles about the fact that Aaron Rodgers could be heading to Denver. That was the big thing. And now I don't hear the rumbling. And I'm starting to think that the Green Bay Packers may actually hold on to Aaron Rodgers and force his hand, so to speak.
Yeah.
Make him play. And then if he doesn't play or he does play, either way, if he doesn't play, they just don't have to pay him, right?
Yeah.
And if he does play, they can work out a trade at the end of the offseason. So I'm starting to think the Packers are who they are, and the Broncos are who they are. So with that being said, that's how we'll go into this. If we'd have done the Broncos 2 weeks ago, I think I probably would have been assuming that Aaron Rodgers was most likely going to be on the team, or maybe even Deshaun Watson. But that June 1st deadline has came and gone, and they haven't done anything.
No.
So I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers won't be a Bronco someday, but I'm starting to think that he won't be one this year. So with that being said, they're going to start September 12th at the Giants, and then September 19th at Jacksonville. So back-to-back weeks, they're going to go to the East Coast. The 4:00 game's not as bad, but the 1:00 after. So there's two back-to-back weeks on the East Coast, and the second one is an early start. Essentially, what is that? 11 a.m. their time.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos might be 0-2 out the gate. What say you?
I agree with you. They're going to take the first two easily, because one aspect of their game is their defense. I think they're going to have a much improved defense, and I think they're going to have a top 10 defense this year. I like what I see on defense. So, yeah, first 2 weeks, I think they'll win.
You think they'll win?
Yeah.
So you don't agree with me. You've got the
No. That's what I'm trying to say. I think they have a top 10 defense, and I think these first two games, their defense is going to carry them through.
Okay, so then you don't agree with me because I've got them losing the first two games.
Yeah, I don't agree. I think they'll be 2-0 after 2 weeks.
All right. Have you had your coffee yet, Doug? I feel like you're not.
I've had my coffee. I said they were going to be 2-0. I don't know what else to say.
By the way, you weren't here for the first hour, but this cup right here, when the coffee's hot, it's a Panda. There was one left on Amazon, and I grabbed it because I was watching a Braves game at the time, and I was like, "Oh, what the hell? I've got to have a Panda." I just bought my little doggy daughter a little Panda to run around because she loves the little the little stuffed animals, and she'll carry it in her mouth like it's a baby, and she'll just wander around the house. And she doesn't do as much as she used to. She's gotten older, but she'll always call it, "Oh, it's super serious," because if she gets excited, she will grab one of her little babies and carry it around the house, right? And it's usually because her mom just came home or something like that, right? But as I was scrolling through Amazon, we all know that is like you go on there for one thing, you buy 7 things.
Yeah,
I had Panda in there, and I'm scrolling through trying to find the smallest little stuffed animal pandas I could find. And son of a gun, I was like, what does this cup do? Because if it was just a cup with a panda on, I probably wouldn't have bought it. I was like, wait, it heats up? When it heats up, it's got a picture on it? I need to take that out. I need to take that out when I go to have breakfast somewhere and say, I'm using my cup. And when this panda be that jackass. And when this panda disappears, that means I need to be heated up. I would never do that. But there's a jackass out there that's going to do that. I guarantee you. Somewhere in, I'm going to guess near a big zoo, because the guy probably works for a zoo and he takes care of pandas. That's the other 11 people that bought this cup. I'm just a Braves fan that likes Sandoval. But anyways, someone who works in a big zoo somewhere in a metropolitan city like San Diego is sitting around right now being a jackass with his cup going, oh, you see the panda just appeared. That means my coffee's cold. This will be affecting your tap. What they don't know, as we're heading back to the kitchen to get that coffee, this is going to affect a lot of things for you, buddy. You don't even know it. You ever seen the movie Waiting? You might want to check it out. All right, moving on. So you've got them now at 2. I need you to keep up with yours because I'm going to keep up with mine, okay?
Yep.
So we're going to go Jets and Ravens. Okay?
Right.
They're at home against the Jets. They're at home against the Ravens. I've got them. Strangely enough, I think they'll sweep that. I think they'll be 2-2. What say you? Because I definitely think they beat the Jets, and I've just got a feeling that they'll go toe to toe with the Ravens.
That's where I got them losing. I disagree with you again. I got them losing. I got them 3-1 after 4 weeks.
And I could see that. I'd say the Ravens will probably be maybe not a touchdown favorite, but they'll probably be 3.5, 4.5 point favorite. Something like, oh, I can't wait for freaking football gambling to start again, man. We might even have it legal in Florida for once. I don't have to go on the dark web to get my fix. By the way, the moment I trade Austin Riley, the guy's turned into freaking turned into Ty Cobb with power. It's ridiculous.
Of course.
I still have him in our rotisserie league, but I traded him to David in our old school dynasty league. That has turned around to bite me in the butt. I think long term though, I think I'll be okay. I never brought this one up to you. Did you see that trade that we did a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I looked at it. Yeah.
So I traded for Max Fried and Randy Arozareno.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was a solid get because I wanted better pitching. And I felt like Arozareno, because when he's hot, like he can get just as hot as Riley. The big difference will be long term who can stay a consistent hitter longer, right? because sometimes Rosarena goes in the dumper, and in a non categories league, I think I can live with that. But he got Austin Riley, who's playing out of his mind. But I also traded Martin Perez. Did you see him get hammered yesterday?
Yes.
I jumped off that train just in time. I was playing you in one of the fantasy leagues, and I knew by Friday that I was going to win it. And so I was like, do I really want to pick up someone and drop a guy who's going to pitch Sunday? I don't know, man. All right, screw it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I don't really need the start. Whew, that was a bullet dodge. He went out there and got negative points.
Mm-hmm.
I lost to Steven in the auction league. And let me tell you something. I was looking at this yesterday. So I lost by my stupid, what's his name? I lost by 13 points. Are you banging on the desk or something? What the hell's making that noise, dude?
I don't know.
Whatever it is, it stops so you know what you did. I had 3 pitchers get me negative points yesterday. 3.
Ugh.
Perez was still on that team. He got me -7. Cueto -1. Herman -2. So if any of those guys if those 3 guys would have just got me a few points, I would have won.
Yeah.
But I went into last night thinking I had a decent chance because I had Goldschmidt and Arenado and the St. Louis closer at Reyes. All he had was Ian Happ, which I knew, he was a flash in the pan. He's not doing anything now. But anyways, ended up losing to him. I'm still in first place, but it still pissed me off because I was like, when you lose because the guys are getting you negative points, it really just chaps my hide. I'm playing you.
Does not feel good.
I swear I play you every single week somehow. I don't know how that happens. It feels like every week I play you.
I know. I wish that stopped.
Playing you, I'm playing Will, and then who am I playing in the other one? Playing Steven again. I swear you and Steven, I play y'all every single week. It's ridiculous. I guess down the stretch, I won't see y'all at all. And Steven,
the way my teams are playing, you're not going to see me at all, period.
That's the league where Steven's actually number 1 in the league. I got to take his ass down, take him down a notch. But anyways, the reason why I picked him up was because, or dropped Perez, Tim Anderson was out there. And I was like, how the hell do y'all not have Tim Anderson? Like, he's just sitting out there, guys hitting 300, shortstop 300. And I was like, there's 8 teams in this league. There's not 7 shortstops better than Tim Anderson. I couldn't believe it. Anyways, let's get back to the, I'd love to see who your shortstop is in that league. It's probably someone terrible, knowing you.
What?
I'm just busting your balls. You got Carlos Correa. All right, I'll give you that. You got Edward Rosario as your utility. I don't know, man. I think
that's going to get fixed.
I think old freaking what's his name, Tim Anderson would have been a better get. They also had what's his name was a free agent, Alonso. I got rid of him in the damn rotisserie league. I cannot live with this guy who routinely goes 1 for 5. He might get a home run, but he goes 1 for 5. So he kills your average on your OPS and on your batting average alone. Like, man, someone can have him. They can have fun with him. He's probably out there if you want him right now. If he's a guy you can stash on your bench, whatever. I can't live with that anymore. It's disgusting. The disgusting display of tomfoolery. All right, let's get back to I get so wrapped up in this fantasy crap. All right. So you've got them 3-1 Broncos. I've got them 2-2. They go to the Steelers, at home against the Raiders, and at the Browns. How do you see those next 3 games? So we got to speed this up.
I think they'll lose to the Steelers in a close one. They will lose to the Raiders. I don't care what anybody says, and they will lose to the Browns.
So you got them on a 3-game losing streak?
Yep.
So you got them then at 3-4, correct?
Yep.
All right, they're going to beat the Raiders. I think so. Right now, I've got them at 3-4 too, because I think they're going to lose the 2 road games. So then they come home against Washington, at the Cowboys, and home against the Eagles and Chargers. Those 4 games. What's their record?
All right, and after those 4 games, they're going to be 6-4. They'll beat Washington. They'll beat the Cowboys, the Eagles, but I see them losing to the Chargers.
So you get them 6-5 at that point?
Yeah.
They're going to lose to the Cowboys. It's in Dallas. Washington and the Eagles, they'll get one of those. And then the Chargers, I'll give it to them because it's a home game. So I've got them going 2-2. So that makes them where the hell did I just have them? Is that 5-6? So you're 6-5, I'm 5-6. Okay.
Yep.
All right. And then we'll do this at Chiefs, at home against the Lions, at home against the Bengals.
And they will be Bengals. They'll be 8-6 when you get to that. After 6-5, they'll go to 8-6 after that.
All right,
they'll beat the Bengals, they'll beat the Lions, they'll lose to the Chiefs.
I've got them 7-7 because I feel like they're going to beat the Lions and Bengals, although losing one of those games wouldn't shock me, because unless that offense just becomes incredibly more electric, explosive this year, I could see the Bengals going in there and shocking them. And I also think the Lions are going to be a lot tougher than they have been years past. I defensively and in the trenches, I think they're going to have a tougher mentality. So I've got them 7-7. You've got them 8-6. They hit the home stretch at the Raiders, at the Chargers, and home against the Chiefs.
Yep. They'll beat the Raiders at home because they always split. It's rare that the Raiders and Broncos never split their schedule. They'll beat the Raiders. They will lose to the Chiefs, and they'll lose to the Chargers. They'll finish at 9-8. Or they'll beat the Chargers, and they'll be 9-8.
All right, I've got them at 8-9, so we're kind of splitting hairs there. I've got them at 8-9 because I believe that they will win one of the. Hell, they might lose both of the Chargers and Raiders games, but they're going to beat the Chiefs. They're going to beat the Chiefs because the Chiefs are going to have their freaking backups in. It'll be the last game of the season. I'd be shocked if the Chiefs don't have their backups in. But then again, Denver might have their backups in if they're out of the playoff race. So who the hell knows? Yep. All right, there you have that. Let's go ahead and turn back time and then get on out of here. Here we go. Remember, top of the hour, y'all. Red Sox, Yankees, and Rays with Timus and Angelo will be coming to you at the top of the hour. Turn back time. All right. On this date, 1985, after retiring 2 seasons ago, Earl Weaver returns to the Orioles dugout, replacing his successor, Joe Altobelli, who won a world championship in his first year with the club. In the 105 games remaining, the Earl of Baltimore, as they called him, will guide the team to a 53-52 record, retiring for good at the end of the next season as the O's are in 7th place. Of course, just a few years later, the Orioles broke the all-time winless streak. Remember, they started the season off with, I think it was 21 losses in a row. Unbelievable. And then birthdays. It's your birthday today. What does that mean? Here we go. This is a good one, especially considering the fact we just finished the French Open. Steffi Graf, 52 years old today. That is hard to believe. Steffi Graf, of course, I believe she's still married to Agassi, isn't she?
I believe so, yeah.
I don't know why they wouldn't be. I just always assume celebrity couples are going to break up. It just seems like, I don't know what it is about celebrity couples, man. Like they can't keep it together. Celebrity sports couples always have a bit more staying power. But if it's a couple actors, it's over, man. They're all just whores. They just cheat on each other. There's, male and female. I'm not just throwing this at the females. The males are probably worse. It always dumbfounds me when you are a famous actor, actress, singer, whatever. Why the hell would you want to marry someone famous? I would be looking for the exact opposite, because that person is going to be in charge of the day-to-day operations of the household, right? I'm famous. I'm probably traveling, doing stupid interviews, all kinds of junk, whatever. For whatever you're famous for, let's say you're an actor. You want your wife or your husband to be, all right, this is the spreadsheet. Pay attention. At this time, you're going to be here. All right, Doug, what's your walk-off for the day?
Walk off today.
Get
a lot of baseball fans may not notice, but David Price isn't coaching for the Phillies this year. The man's walked away from baseball, and he's had some interesting things to think about how pitchers and just the fundamentals of baseball are not being run in the dugout anymore or on the practice field. They're being run by the front office. And he said, it's not fun to play baseball when you're having an executive telling you who you're going to start today. And I just thought I thought that was really interesting, and how baseball is so micromanaged.
I think I misunderstood you. Who did you say?
David Price. He's a coach. He used to be the Reds pitching coach, and he signed a big deal to be the pitching coach.
You do understand when you say baseball and David Price, everyone immediately thinks of the baseball player David Price for the Dodgers.
No.
I thought that's where I was like, dude, are you stroking out over here? Like, who are you talking about? Okay.
He used to be for years. He was the Reds pitching coach, considered one of the best coaches in baseball. He signed a deal. He went to the Phillies, but then he just walked away from baseball. He never showed up, and he just lost his passion for the game. And one of the reasons he cited was the fact that the front of the house management is really deciding who starts, who doesn't start, and how the game is played. And
you mean Brian Price?
No.
I think you mean Brian Price.
No, Brian Price used to. Never mind. All right, we'll say Brian Price then. But he's not a coach anymore.
Brian Price coached for the Reds from 2014 to 2018.
He was their manager, but this it was David Price is the man's name. He's a pitching coach, but I just got done reading a big article about why he quit baseball.
I'll take your word for it. But when I put David Price, Reds pitching coach in the Google machine, Brian Price is the only thing that comes up. And then, of course, David Price, the baseball player. I'll take your word for it that both guys.
But anyway, that's screwed up.
We'll do a deep dive and get that clarified, because I think it's Brian Price. Anyways,
that was my takeoff.
Because I do remember Brian Price. Yeah, pitching coach Brian Price. Yeah, that's
two of them, but okay.
It's Brian.
All right.
No, there's not two of them. You said the name wrong. It's fine. Everybody makes mistakes. I'm not trying to bust your balls. I'm just saying everybody makes mistakes. I say things. I'm like, wait, what the hell is that guy's name again? No, I do that all the time. I want to clarify for the listener.
No, I understand.
Brian, I remember Brian Price used to come on MLB Network. He got interviewed by Russo all the time. I can't watch Russo's show anymore, by the way, because his co-host is just dreadful. I can't even remember her name, but they brought her over from Fox Sports LA, so I never watched her until now. Why the hell would I ever be watching Fox Sports LA? I mean, she's just dreadful. I thought they brought her some superstar. Okay, and I guess she was on the MLB Network at the early part of the decade of last decade, but she is just dreadful. I mean, God, and it sucks too, because Russo and Shine used to have a camaraderie, in a back and forth, and they both respect each other's opinion. And now I feel like Russo feels like he can't step on what she says because she's new, and she was I mean, let's be honest. They hired her because she was female, and they kicked Bruce Shine to the curb because he's an old white guy. So, you know, just be careful over there, Doug. They're gonna fire you at work, man, for, you know, being an old white guy. All right, brother. We'll see you next Monday. We're gonna do fantasy football.
All right.
Text me if you got anything in mind, and we will get the fantasy football rolling next week.
All righty.
See you tomorrow, y'all.
Time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on these CBS Sports affiliates and catching the show on YouTube Live. We're here weekdays. Find Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live today. Please subscribe and share and take us everywhere you go. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for Southern sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Gonna get another cigarette.